What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here with the quartering, and I want to start out today's video, which may be kind of annoying, with just a simple thank you to everyone for all their support on the channel, for always liking the videos, for always leaving comments and sharing the stuff on Twitter. It's been an amazing ride, and it's only April. This, the week of my birthday. Friday is my birthday, and rather than celebrate my birthday, I thought I would celebrate all of you, at least come out and give you all a hearty thank you. And I do appreciate all of your support. So today's topic is how the Joker film is being used to disparage white males again. That's right. Now, the overwhelming reaction, I think, to the Joker film is positive. And that's important to remember. But making fun of the negative hot takes is one of my specialties. And I, for one, am a fan of superhero films that address their more dark pasts or the fact that they're more like tortured souls. I think Joker is one of the most iconic characters in the modern era, which was thanks to The Dark Knight and the way that he was played so brilliantly. And I love the character. And obviously it's clear that he's a villain. And I'm not sure where all these hot takes are coming from, but we're going to take a look at a few of them and address kind of what it means. Is this just noise to get hate clicks? Maybe. Is it a continuing trend? Yes, it is. It's a weird one that appears to only apply to white males, which we'll get into a little bit later. This is Saved an Immigrant. Essentially, Alan is saying, that the film is being used to radicalize white males. Oh, there's Dank. I didn't even see Dankula in there. Quote, Joker, a film where you're supposed to sympathize with a mediocre white man radicalized into deranged violence will no doubt be appealing to the wrong audience for the worst reasons. So what is the implication here? That the film will essentially, as he puts it, will serve as a inspiration to evil white males. To me, Dank sums it up perfectly by simply calling this clown racist. He is a film reviewer. He has written on a variety of websites that you may or may not know, but the old "we paid a freelance writer to say a thing you like is poop because Google and Facebook duopoly ate the whole digital ad market and now harvesting hate." It's true. This is a guy that's written for the Washington Post. And he is originally written about the Joker. The Dark Knight and Heath Ledger's Joker were a prophecy of our troll culture. Trolling has been around for decades. Even in early online forums, some users would bait others with an insincere argument, but the troll didn't become an online identity until the mid-2000s, right before the release of Dark Knight. That's right. Dark Knight and the Joker are responsible for trolls. Trolls are anonymous, and they laugh at the expense of others. Now, to think that trolls have not existed since probably the beginning of time is absurd. An online troll is only different in their anonymity than anybody ribbing their friends or giving other people a hard time, something that has happened since probably the beginning of time. Again, people like to use this terminology to categorize any opinion they don't like or to categorize people they don't like. Heath Ledger's Joker has since become a meme as fans online pair his image with harmless Dark Knight quotes or Photoshop Joker makeup on political figures like Barack Obama, Donald Trump, and Alex Jones. Trolls are anonymous. They laugh at the expense of others. These two qualities are key to the Joker's allure. I don't really think, I mean, he's laughing, but I don't think he's trolling. I wouldn't call the Joker a troll. He enjoys chaos, but he is driven, I believe, by some ideology internally. He's driven by a hate for the corruption. He's not just simply a wild card. Otherwise, he would do both good and evil. He has no obvious backstory and sees the world as a sick joke. Quote, "You mad, bro?" A favorite tease of early trolls. Now, the same rhetorical bite as the Joker, why so serious? Like the best villain movies, there is some truth to the Joker's worldview, that one bad weekend is all we need for society to collapse. And modern trolls share that yearning to push spaces online and in real life towards destruction. Recently, trolls have tried to prevent 3 black teenage girls from winning NASA science competition. A page on the site Wikipedia devoted to Kelly Marie Tran, oh my god, the first Asian actress to have a leading role in a Star Wars movie, was defaced by trolls, which many speculate was the reason she left social media, though she has not confirmed that. She never confirmed that. In fact, she refuted that. She said she left social media because of the intense pressure to get back to fans, something I actually totally understand and sympathize with. And by the way, I've always said I've got no hate for Kelly Marie Tran. The woman is just doing her job, a job she was hired to do. If you have a problem with Kelly Marie Tran, then you're kind of a dick. The reason that she got a lot of junk is mostly because of articles like this. Kelly Marie Tran should say, hey, stop writing about me like I'm the second coming, and maybe people will stop reacting to that. These examples show how online trolls have moved from the internet's underbelly into the public space. As Batman's longtime butler, Alfred, warns in The Dark Knight, some men just want to see the world burn. No troll has prominently come out of Nolan's film or cited Nolan films as specific influence, but it's plausible that Dark Knight would fall into the same trap that Fight Club, or maybe even worse, Wolf of Wall Street, fell into. It was so compelling, the villain's arguments are so forceful that the susceptible audience took the wrong message, and with Ledger's death, his Oscar-winning performance and Joker persona took on a mythic quality. So essentially, what this author is saying is, well, we don't actually have any evidence. Nobody's actually cited the Joker, but I'm going to just say that it's true anyway. The relative innocence of online trolling back in 2008, more personal, less weaponized, can see fan backlash to early negative reviews of The Dark Knight when New York Magazine's David Edelstein was harassed online for panning the film. Again, I don't believe that you can be harassed online. You can just walk away from it. Just private your Twitter account for literally 3 days and the internet will entirely forget. I mean, everybody's basically stopped talking about Jim Jeffries online. I wonder why. Because the internet moves on. Although Bering did a great video today on it. Blogger Eric Snyder noted that Edelstein's review brought out a, quote, Joker-like tendencies. When you're getting mad about a review of a movie that you haven't even seen yet, that's off the charts. No, I disagree entirely. You don't need to see a movie to know if a review is pandering, if a review is saying blatantly idiotic things, or if the review is not understanding basic comic book culture, which is what we see all the time as giant, super huge mega corporations like Washington Post and Forbes and all that have stopped reporting on news and just manufacture hate with articles about modern culture. Now, we saw the latest trailer for the Joker film come out, and this is many hot takes, but here's another article that came out. Joker trailer leans into the reality of toxic white male fragility. That's right. I used to think that my life was a tragedy, but now I realize it's a comedy. It's a fine line between creating a sympathetic villain and justifying the behavior of very bad person in the first trailer for Todd Phillips' Joker starring Joaquin Phoenix ever so treacherously walks the line. Essentially, they're saying, don't give any amount of humanity into the movie's villain. Now, I'm guessing that most villains have some reason for what they're doing, something some people can relate to. And they're postulating here that is, of course, a problem. No doubt that Joker is one of media's most lauded villains, a brightly colored, maniacal foil to Batman's brooding darkness and misery. By the way, I remember the Joker basically before the Christopher Nolan films being represented kind of as a goofball, never really a major threat, just kind of being a nuisance for Batman. Of course, Christopher Nolan put a more sinister spin on it, and obviously the comic books cover it more deeply. They're the opposite sides of the same coin. Batman internalizes his trauma and fights crime. The Joker externalizes his and commits it. Both provide extremely fictional outlets for toxic masculinity at its worst, but they also provide inroads to celebrate it. Dangerous. The approach to the R-rated Joker highlighted here is more than I've seen before. It's the emphasis on extreme mental illness after being consistently ridiculed and bullied. Yeah, totally not based in reality. I mean, it's not like this couldn't happen. I'm sure it's completely ridiculous that somebody might break after suffering from mental illness. That and living with and taking care of his mother, bathing her, being told to smile. Ironically, something women are constantly being told by men. Ha! So you're saying that both men and women experience that. Interesting. Interesting to admit that you know you're lying about that. The teaser makes allusions to Scorsese's King of Comedy. Indeed, De Niro, who starred as Rupert Pupkin in the trio tragico comedy, briefly appears here, and it's not hard to make more contemporary allusions. Anyway, the DC Universe is a film that has largely been dictated by the films drenched in Zack Snyder's macho darkness, desperate to be taken seriously and devoid of nuance. Recent efforts, though, from Wonder Woman to Aquaman and the upcoming Shazam, it seems like they're taking a cue from the successful Marvel series of superheroes and villains by injecting a bit of light and healthier dose of levity. See, maybe that appeals to mass audiences, but I've been on record saying that the Dark Knight trilogy is easily my favorite superhero stories. Easily. I like to see a more based in reality type story, understand a good origin story of why people think the way they do, why people do the things they do. I don't need a ton of jokes. I think that Marvel has gone way too far with the jokes. In fact, when you look at Guardians of the Galaxy 1, which had a lot of humor in it, just about almost too much, then the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 had way too much, in my opinion. It was like, there's at no moment did you ever feel like there was any real stakes in that film. It was just joke. And I was like, you know, would people really be making this many jokes all the time in that situation? Now, I'm not against comedy in film, obviously. Even serious movies need to have a little release valve once in a while for a joke here or there. But to say that it's a requirement for a good film, I disagree. As I said above, it seems like walking a very thin line between both worlds, a proper metaphor for the character suffering from a psychotic break that tears him into two distinct people. As the Joker Academy Award nominee, Joaquin Phoenix, garnishly thin in true Christian Bale style, is an eerily perfect choice. It might be a bit redundant after having just starred in the masterful You Were Never Really Here with his Taxi Driver-esque hammer-wielding Avenger from Lynn Ramsey last year. Seems to be channeling a handful of influences that have loftier goals than DC films before. You can say that, you know, there is absolutely nothing wrong. There's nothing far-fetched about somebody reaching their breaking point. It's something a ton of people can understand and sympathize with. That seems to be what the author here has the problem with. When you have And by the way, that is not uniquely a man or a woman thing. But I'm going to be honest with you, men and women both have uniquely different sets of stress, societally imposed, self-imposed. There are unique things to being a man, and there are unique things to being a woman. As a man, obviously, I can relate to kind of the pressures out there that you might have to put up with. It's somebody who has problems with anxiety and stress, stuff like that. There's no doubt in my mind that Joker is going to make a fortune at the box office, and we're going to get more and more hate-baiting articles like this because just another hype article doesn't really get read. I mean, there are very few people that don't think Joker looks good or is at least not interested in it. I would love a modern-day origin story for the Joker. I mean, when we saw the Joker come into Dark Knight, we did get a bit of origin, but through his storytelling. But he was kind of just there and already doing his thing. And honestly, DC, I don't know why. What is your problem with ignoring your most popular superheroes? Like, why are we not talking about new Superman films? Joker is a great choice, but Shazam, it was a fine film, 7 out of 10 in my opinion. But like DC has some seriously popular superheroes that they just seem to be ignoring. I mean, Aquaman made $1 billion. I didn't think it would, but Joker, I think, will do very well, and we're going to see more hate-baiting articles, and we're just going to make fun of them. What do you think about the Joker? Are you interested in seeing this film? I definitely am. I'm more interested in seeing this film than pretty much anything, at least currently, that I know is coming out this year. And I'll be interested to see your comments in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.